Good evening, friends. It's your buddy Tim, and today is a glorious day because, we just launched the first location for the American Village. So that's what this live stream's about. For those who maybe don't know, the American Village is a project where we're trying to build at least a few communities in Russia where people who are English speakers from the Western world can gather together and immigrate to Russia and have a little bit of, let's just say, like-minded neighbors and mutual support and all that stuff. But more importantly, thanks to doing some dealings with a certain governor, my immigration lawyer buddy Timur can actually make it that being part of this project he will make it, that being part of this project builds you a doorway to a life in Russia, which otherwise you wouldn't have, especially if you're already married to someone with kids. So, anyways, you guys have heard about all this before. So, for the people who've been here before, right now on this live stream, we have a decent amount of people watching, over 20. That's awesome. So, anyways, let's take a look at the actual site itself, and hopefully it'll work. So there we go. Now, the one thing is the domain is not correct. I could not get the actual proper domain working. So, in the future, I'm going to change it in all the links. But for now, we have a nice temporary domain, and guess what? The site works. In fact, let's reload it so that way you can actually... Oop, that's not the right location. Reload. There we go. So that's what it actually looks like. Ooh, nice animation, huh? This project, so let me read for myself here. This project is a fully private, non-governmental initiative, and I need to make that important because everyone thinks it's somehow backed or paid for by the government. My friends, it is not. That type of initiative to help native speakers of English start a new life in Russia by buying a home in one of our communities where they can have the help and support of like-minded individuals, which I kind of just said. And remember, if you're watching this on Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore, watching it live, if you basically write any comment anywhere on my channel, you are all those comments are going to go into what's called the chat, and the chat is basically going to be where I can read all your messages. So if you reply or comment under any post on Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore, I'll see it because I'm sure a lot of you are going to have questions, I would assume. Anyways, if you do, then we'll answer them. So, that's the main page here, and there's really not too much to the site. But friends, as someone who doesn't make websites for a living, this took me quite a bit of time, because I'm the webmaster here. So anyways, first, this is something you can read on your own because reading this on a live stream would be boring, but it's your roadmap to a life in Russia. Basically, this sort of shows the steps to doing things. This little link here is actually very important because it goes to an article about how to send money to Russia as it stands. But don't worry, besides this, there are actually many other methods that have to be discussed in private. But anyways, you can see that these are the sort of steps involved: selecting and buying your future home, preparing immigration documents and procedures, the immigration procedures upon arrival, as you can see there, and these are the costs for immigration support. Why is immigration support listed, Tim? You're selling homes for people to build a life in Russia. Well, there have been some interesting cases of foreign people who live here who've always dreamed of buying a dacha and want to buy a nicely built one, or want to build a dacha or buy a dacha that's at least kind of near someone else who's from the West. And so those people don't really need any migration services, and thus the cost of that is different. Also, a lot of stuff related to migration is per person. So, basically, I didn't want to force someone who potentially came, let's just say, adult man comes to Russia by himself, right? I wouldn't want to have to factor in the cost of like having if he had, a wife and 2 cousins and 10 kids and his grandma and all that. So that's why it's separate. But anyways, and those prices are listed in USD because that's how Timur's business operates. Everything on the construction end is written in rubles. So anyways, this is probably the meaty part of the project where we're actually going to reveal all the projects that we have upcoming that have some loose element of agreement on them. To be honest, here, Bashkiria, I'm probably going to change the name of that, but the Republic of Bashkortostan has been very hospitable, but that's still in the future. Serpukhov, as we all know, has been the core of the project. Unfortunately, that has been locked in bureaucracy. Maybe we'll be able to escape that bureaucracy soon. I came up with a new tactic on Friday, and the response to my tactical maneuver was positive. So we'll see about Sierpukov. We'll talk about that later. Here we have Masalsk County, which is in one of the regions that borders the Moscow region. We went out there to have a big meeting with the local authorities, but so far I don't think we've gotten any traction. But they still said, Tim, we want to do this, so whatever. I've been to Rostov to meet the vice governor. We'll see about that. Rostov. Oh no, that's the other one. No, I confused that with Novgorod. It's not Novgorod, it's Rostov. Excuse me. I did go see the vice governor of Novgorod Veliki, but again, I don't think that one's going to happen. Now Rostov Veliki, Rostov the Great, that's where Father Joseph is, and that American village is really just waiting on rezoning the land. So they kind of have the land, and they have the construction team, and they have everything lined up, but they just are waiting for everything to get rezoned. So that's their big issue. As many of you remember, in the middle here, Ivanovka, that is the sort of village for the employees of iSpring. And they would actually love to have some Americans live there. So if any of you have been, let's say, hired by iSpring or would like to be farther away from Moscow, starting that project would be a lot easier. But that is like 3 states over. That's like the difference between, in America, between, New York and Pittsburgh, or New York and maybe Chicago would be a better example. So I didn't want to start the project with that because it is so far away. So our one really only location that is now 100% good to go on all aspects, you can pay me tomorrow, is called Big Water. I didn't choose that name. The people who set up this whole dacha community there called it Big Water in Russian. So it's Big Water in English because that's consistent. And it is in Istra in the Moscow region. And as you can see, it is the only project that's active. All right, we'll get back to that in a little bit. But anyways, you can read about some of the nuances of the American village here. Again, the whole point of this thing is to give people a legal foothold in Russia as part of a special project that they're not going to get elsewhere. There is the thing where, you can set up your own business to pay yourself as an employee and pay this crazy amount of money in taxes to yourself, setting up this nightmare, which... I've heard in some of the people in the State Duma have found out about this, and they do not like that loophole. So again, just something to think about. There's not really many ways to get to Russia. But anyways, point number 2, no place of residence, no migration to Russia. Oh, and by the way, if you see any spelling errors here, please help me, because the system that makes this site is not very copy and paste friendly. It'd probably be a lot easier to have written a lot of this stuff in Microsoft Word and copied it, but system don't like it. So if you see any spelling errors, let me know. But no place of residence equals no migration to Russia, which is true. One of the key things you have to provide to the Russian authorities is a place of residence. And then you might say, Tim, why not just ask your landlord to do it for you? They won't. 90% of the time, they won't. So it's a very rare thing that a landlord will actually provide you that opportunity, because especially in the good old days, that also kind of gave you claim to the apartment. In modern times, it doesn't, but people don't know that. We provide complete legal support to fight Russia's legendary bureaucracy. Yes, that comes in with Timur. And of course, maybe I should have added here that also, like, if you are actually really going to put money down in this house, and not just, you're at the point where you're at the put money down phase, trust me, I'll be willing to carry a lot of suitcases for you and help you out, okay? But on the other hand, talking about stuff online is fine, but this whole weird fetish that people have of, Tim, I have to talk to you in person. We have to talk somewhere in the center of Moscow. Okay, why? Well, we just have to. How about do we do a call where I'm at the computer and I can use the computer to answer your questions better? So if you get to the point where you actually are, ready to do this thing, I will literally help you move. So there you go. Or help you get there for the first time. Because this is a little bit out of the way, but that's what people supposedly told me. And building this kind of project in a city ain't happening. Let's see. Our construction contractors can provide you with a payment plan. So one thing that's very important to mention, which I'm going to have to mention twice during this live stream, or 3 times, is that the construction company and their investors said that they're willing to sort of do this in phases. Of course, the first phase is big because you have to pay for the land. Because here's capitalism. How do you get the government out of your business? You have to buy the land. So you have to buy the land and then put 50% of the cost of building the house down, and then you can pay 25 later, and then the other remaining 25 later after that. So there's a little bit of flexibility in that sense. We could try to, I promise to help people try to apply for a mortgage. We can do that, but I think the chances are very slim. So that option is on the table, but I think it's a very weak option because they're probably not going to give it to a foreigner who doesn't have residency. So it's kind of a paradox. In order to get a mortgage, you kind of already have to like have residency and all that. But then again, how else are you going to get through the quota nightmare without, having a place to live in? Catch-22, as they say. And another thing we mentioned is we'll get you safely into your own home in a new country. That's kind of what I'm saying is I understand is if you put all this money into this, I'll definitely help you out with this whole starting phase. One thing that I should say before I forgot, while we just took a recent tour of Big Water there, making sort of the final agreements and talking, with the investors, with the construction guys, this, that, and the other, I did see delivery trucks coming. So you can get, you don't even have to go anywhere. You can get all your food delivered right from the Perekrostek chain of grocery stores. And remember, this project is between Timur, me, Tim, and Father Joseph. Father Joseph doesn't really have much in connection here with Big Water himself, but obviously Father Joseph and our universes overlap very often, and this project includes what he wants to do in his area. Of course, if you want to email me, hopefully this thing works. One of the complaints I got from my crew that I call the pipeline, I had them take a look, and they said the thing to send messages was terrible. So I changed it around, and hopefully it's better than it was. I do not guarantee that it'll work. You know what really works? Is if you click on this thing, it should... Yeah, there I am. There I am on Telegram. So you could just send me a message directly to Telegram, and thankfully that little button worked. That's amazing. No animation, or is there a little animation? No animation. That's kind of a shame. So I thought it animated automatically. But anyways, that's about the project. Now let's actually take a look then at Big Water, because it's probably what you're interested in. Here it says find out more. Unfortunately, guys, I really want to change these buttons that lead nowhere to be like gray or something, but Magic Mr. Computer said, no, all buttons must be the same color. Okay, whatever. So, all right. That loaded very slowly. I was afraid hackers have already destroyed the site. But anyways... So here you go. This is a little bit of when Big Water first started being built here to the right, as you can see. And why is it called Big Water? Because it is on the Istra Reservoir, the water reservoir, or as Russians like to call it, the water reserve. So it is by a big, fat lake that is quite huge and expands over many kilometers. And you might be asking, Tim, can I just walk right to the water? Yes, there's a pathway that leads out of this community here. And also something to make important is that this is actually part of a pre-existing dacha community. So for all those people who are like, Tim, you're going to isolate the foreigners from Russians and live behind a gate. Me. This time we're not, because there's already plenty of people here. So there's already some locals living here. Some people use this for dachas, so on and so forth. But why did we pick this place? Why is this so special? What's so great about this as opposed to continuing to wait for Serpukhov? Well, the first thing is that Serpukhov is an infinite battle of frustration and futility. So again, like I said, I have a new sort of tactic in my head to get around the problems we've been having. But again, that's no guarantee. This is a guarantee. Timur knows a guy who owns a lot of this. He wants to sell it. He has at least 20 pieces of property to sell, big pieces of property, because again, everyone tells me when I tell them that, well, the average Russian plot of land to put a house on is, it's 600 square meters. So let's see, 600 square meters to acres is like 0.15 acres. So essentially it's like a sixth of an acre, okay? And everyone tells me that that's awful. I have twice as much as that. So again, I have 1,200, which is about a 3/10 of an acre. Okay, so these pieces of property are actually going to be not 1,200 square meters, but 2,000 square meters, which is half an acre. And you have to remember that the Moscow region is a hot real estate market, which means the companies tend to cut them small. So this is about as big as you're going to get without paying an insane amount of money. So you got half an acre properties, okay? And this features, we were kind of considering cutting the properties in half to get more people in, but we're not so sure if we can legally do that. We can definitely build you a house on the full 2,000 square meters. But anyways, yeah, that's about the place. People already live there. It is an actual gated community. And let's take a look at sort of the features here. Electricity, at least 12 kilowatts per house. For those who don't know, that's plenty. That's twice as much as I have in Chekhov, and I'm able to live fine. That's plenty. That's your maximum that you can use. Well, yeah. So 12 kilowatts is something I'm dreaming of. It has gas set up, so you're going to be nice and warm in the winter. Got that gas pipeline already there. Water pipeline as well, and it's year-round water. There are some weird places in Russia where they say, oh, we have piped-in water in summer. Nope, this is year-round water. Guess where it comes from? Guess where it comes from? Maybe it comes from somewhere over here where the mouse is. They have the internet, but on my telephone, the telephone was getting all bars. I have a Beeline service telephone, so Beeline got complete full internet coverage. Whether I was by the water or looking around, my internet was always perfect the entire time, which is amazing. They actually have their own sewers, which is kind of different than a lot of dachas. So the poopies go to one major sort of leach patch somewhere. It has 24-hour security. Oh my god. If that's something you like, well, guess what? They have security, and yeah, and it is actually more of a true gated community. So there is control over who comes in and who comes out, unless they sneak up on a boat. And they have central garbage removal, which is a boon. You know, there's some places in Russia and in America where you kind of have to deal with your own garbage. Not here. So that is lovely. And anyways, remember, if you're watching this on Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore, just write any sort of questions you have anywhere. And after my spiel, you can I'll answer them, and you can call into the show. But again, let me just go through this, because there's really only 2 pages of the site. So you already talked about page number 1. This is ultimately page number 2, because all the other projects are still kind of coming soon. Some sooner than others, and some maybe aren't coming at all. So here, I like my fancy text. Imagine living in rural Russia right off the water, yet having access to all the benefits of the big city. It's about a 20-kilometer drive or bus ride to the city of Istra. Istra is a little bit dense, but it's also extremely historical and beautiful, and the churches there are OMG amazing. One of the nice parts about Istra is it's one of those major cities in Russia outside of Moscow that gets a ton of trains. So there's all the trains you could ever want to get you to and from the big city if you need to go downtown. So it is quite a juicy location. So anyways, this picture here, this isn't like a stock photo, this dock or whatever. That's actually really what it looks like in summer. So it's not a stock photo. That's really part of it's actually the dock belongs to this dacha community. So if you buy a house there, this dock is also then thus partially yours. This is one of the houses that's built there. A little dark, but they didn't give me good photos. So anyways, and here's the part that's going to make probably a lot of people angry or confused. So here's your new home in Russia, and ultimately the price worked out to be this, which I think works out to be like $160,000. Worked out to be 16,250,000 rubles. And why did this happen? Tim, you've been saying it's only going to be a few months. Tim, you bought a house for 1 million rubles and you fixed it up for another 1 million rubles. What are you going to talk about? This is impossible. I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you that the war changed everything. Sanctions have also made a lot of construction equipment have to be replaced. And because there's been a big crackdown on migrant labor, and in a lot of regions of Russia it's become illegal. Not so much around Moscow, but anyways, the amount of migrant laborers has become, vastly smaller. And so all those factors combined, and everything going to the war effort, Well, things have gotten a lot more expensive. So this is our offer for you for living in this very somewhat elite community. Now, someone might be wondering, Tim, well then, if Serpukhov happens, how much would the home cost there? So that means that based on this, and based on some of the differences between the region and all that, the Serpukhov home is probably going to wind up costing, let's be conservative, as in putting a higher price, probably going to wind up being 12,250,000 rubles. That'll probably be a difference of like 4 million. But again, as I've said in this program before, never rush into anything. Don't make decisions you're not comfortable with. But we have a little bit of an exception to my personal rule here, because with Serpukhov, that would be, or hopefully at some point in the infinite future, eventually, would be essentially donated land with a fantastic government help with all that stuff, right? And that's amazing, because that land can kind of just sit there. We use it, we don't use it. This is anyone can go up and buy this. You know, if tomorrow some rich guy wants, he could go up to Big Water and buy all this stuff, all the land, you know. So with this one, there actually is a rush, because Big Water could disappear real quick. If you just want, another option is if someone doesn't want to do the American Village, but for some reason they want to have a house in Russia and they're just scared of being like screwed over, we can make that happen too, again for a similar sort of price. But anyway, so what do you get for your 16,250,000 rubles? You get a 3-bedroom home that can be converted to a 4-bedroom home if you close off the one sort of like living room area. It's 106 square meters. That's 1,300 square feet, which again sounds small for America, but in Russia, it's cold, and that is actually a pretty decent sized house. We've talked about this before millions of times on the live stream. Furthermore, the veranda area that you can actually see right here where my mouse is makes up another 36 square meters. And if someone really wants to, they can enclose the veranda. We can do that for you, so you get sort of more storage space, some semi-living space, or if you want to go nuts, you could probably actually turn it into a real living space, but that's for an extra cost. And the thing is here, one of the things that's going to make it expensive is I talked to the construction company, and he's just like, look, man, we don't build crap. I'm not going to build this stick frame 2x4 garbage that people are used to in America. We're either going to build this good, or we're not going to build it. And I was like, well, I can respect that. So it is only being on offer right now under concrete block. And not just concrete block, the extra thick ones. So that'll wind up being 10 solid inches of concrete block between you and the exterior world, which is a good thing to have. So, yeah. That's it. And also, if you click on this is one thing. My mouse moved off. Excuse me. So, yeah, I think I may have been actually clicking on the wrong monitor. Please forgive me. But anyways, you can see concrete block, the home size, the veranda size. And anyways, let's click on the plan for the home. And like I said here, just real quick, here's some options. Like you can enclose the porch to give you more space. We could build you a detached garage, no problem. We can turn the half bath into a closet. Someone said that they were like, why have a small half bathroom? It's stupid. Okay, it could just be a closet. We can make the living room into a 4th bedroom. So anyways, let's take a look at the plans. Many of you who are sort of fans of this project have probably seen this before. Oh my God. Oh, no. That's, wait. Is this? Okay, there's no personal information. I was like, whoa. But anyways, this is kind of zoomed out, isn't it? Man. Let's see here. Is there a way to zoom it in? The picture doesn't get bigger. What is with that? Oh, maybe this thing means to make it full screen. Oh, thank you. Thank friggin' goodness. Anyways, then, so here was what we have the house. So the architect wanted to be frisky, and he put everything into English and with square footage, but I added meters to this. So this is the actual final plan to the home. The main entrance being here, but also remember this is Russia. So if you look at the home, look at where the windows are, and unless for some reason you hate the idea, where all the windows are for the most part, either on this side of the home, sorry, I'm on the wrong side, either on this side of the home where there's a lot of windows, although there is the veranda there, or on this side of the home, one of those sides really has to face south. It really does, guys. I would really recommend that at least partially face south, because say, for example, like this wall faces south, it's going to be real dank and dark. So then we're going to orient the homes that way. Another thing you should then see is that based on good feedback, we added this little wall here to sort of like close off the entryway. And in fact, there's an entire boiler and laundry room now. Pretty much every American or European wife said that they hated the idea of not having a laundry room, which for Russia is a weird thing that no one really has. But anyways, these homes do have a laundry room, so amazing. And then next to it is a full bathroom with your shower there and your toilet and all that good stuff. You got the master bedroom there, plenty of room to put stuff in. And then you have this sort of main area, and if you really want to, like I said, we can put in another wall here for real cheap, and this becomes then a sort of another large bedroom right there. And then you have a smaller bedroom and another smaller bedroom, and you have the sort of half bath that's over there. So yeah, and one heck of a veranda. Everyone likes their porch, especially for the warm half of the year. So I approve. I think everyone likes that. Oh, well, yeah, okay. So, again, guys, sorry I'm kind of just blasting you with information, but for the people who are watching this after the video gets uploaded, I know that they really would rather have me get through all the major information first and then take questions. So, yeah. So, anyways, the features of the home, all concrete block, 250 millimeters thick, which is 10 inches. Brutal. So that's how how thick the walls will be. The layout we worked out with you guys, and I think it's a logical layout. It works for me. Again, another thing I'll tell you is that if this project actually works out and I'm able to afford it, I will buy one of these houses. I've been looking at this house plan and these pictures and 3D renders for so long. I want it. I will buy one of these babies myself. And so I'm definitely going to put my money where my mouth is, because at this point, I think fixing up the house in Chekhov is just putting lipstick on a pig. But anyways, a true turnkey home, because most people are coming from another country. Not everyone is super savvy with fixing stuff. The price of the home is for full turnkey, as in everything is done. Everything is in place. When you come here from, like the airport, you're going to walk in and I promise, and again, this is going to be my back and my knees. Everything is going to be in a functional state. Okay? If you're coming here, if you're already in Russia and you're somewhere, we'll get it so you can come in your home and everything, as Todd Howard is famous for saying, it just works. Except Todd Howard was never able to deliver on that promise. Then again, making sure a refrigerator gets delivered is a lot easier than making a AAA video game. But c'est la vie. So anyways, that's kind of part of the service here, is that it will be a true turnkey home. So, yeah. And again, this is one thing I kind of wanted to show you guys about the price is, about like, maybe you might be thinking, Tim, this is a ripoff. Well, these are all homes that are in that area, roughly pretty close. As in pretty close, walking distance to the reservoir, okay? And if you look at this one, it's bigger. So you look at that one and be like, Tim, this home is almost twice the size of the home you're offering. It's like 80% bigger or something. Yeah, so it costs more. So you add another, 5 million and 16 million is 4. So you're adding 9 million rubles to get a stick frame house. And like this design is used by a lot of the like El Cheapo manufacturers. So you're paying a pretty penny, almost getting into the territory of like American house prices, to have a house that will be absolutely miserable to live in winter, and it's not going to last very long. I found this house for 36 million rubles. That's on a very small piece of land, given its size, because I know a lot of people have told me that they find the idea of living on a small piece of land to be disgusting. Well, guess what? For 36 million rubles, you can live on a very small piece of land in the same area with a very big house on it. And then this one is just ridiculous. It says an ugly lie. There's no way that this is 900 square meters. It's just not possible. But anyways, it should be something that you should know about, that people freaking lie. You think you're buying a house that has this, that, and the other, and they just outright lie to you. And especially if you're a foreigner, because remember, in Russia, all foreigners are suckers or stupid, as the famous comedian Mikhail Zadornov said about Americans. They're stupid. That's his catchphrase. So something to be aware of. 60 million rubles for this. It reminds me kind of Pee-wee's Playhouse. Remember Pee-wee's Playhouse in the 80s? So you can buy Pee-wee's Playhouse for 60 million rubles. Yeah, anyways. So these are 3D renders of what the house will actually look like. Oh my god. So if you look, this is what the outside will actually look like. I don't know if the color is 100% confirmed by the construction company, but I actually like this color scheme, so I hope this one stays. But anyways, this is essentially where you would enter the home. To the right here is that whole like laundry section, which has a window that goes off this way, and then over here is like the family room and then one of the bedrooms. So, oops, wrong button. And then this would be the sort of view from what would be officially the rear of the home, but hey, you know, the way they laid it out here, this could be the front. It matters where the sun is. I really tell you guys, with Russia, the front of your house really needs to face the sun. So if you consider this the front of your house, have it face the sun. If you like this side to be the front of the house, this side is, I think, more American looking. Like if you're in America, what would be the front of the house? Someone would say this. You want that to face the sun? We can do that. That's not a super critical issue. So anyways, those are the 3D renders of the house. They are literally and 100% accurate to the plans I showed you. So you already have everything done and the pipes laid out and all this other lovely stuff and wiring. So here we have views of the interior. Now this, I at first thought that these were 3D renders. And I was kind of like, well, this 3D render sucks. I mean, in the window, there's like another apartment. This is the actual work of the construction company. Okay? This is actual stuff that they've made. All right. First off, I recessed ceilings suck. We're not going to do that. But I think this looks pretty good and pretty nice. And yeah, like, especially if I was basically fooled into thinking it was a 3D render, that's a good sign. And this is literally something they did. So, and I asked him, is that really what you're planning on doing for the American Village? He was like, yeah, something like that for the bathrooms. Okay, that's kind of almost like Hollywood glamour right there. So, yeah, baby. And this is a pretty typical style for stuff that's new and a little on the pricey side in Russia. And I like it. So, yeah. But again, these are all real pictures, which is kind of hard to believe. This one looks really fake till you kind of see by the window. It is real. Maybe they did some Photoshop to make these like lens flare kind of things happen. Maybe they didn't, but yeah. So anyways, and speaking of real photos, I took these photos, so I do know they're not 3D renders. This is what the area by the water looks like. Unfortunately, there's snow, but you can kind of imagine. This is a sort of house in the neighborhood. I cannot imagine how much this Titan costs. It has a beefy house. Speaking of things that look very American, it almost has kind of like a Southern Victorian look to it. But this is a block house, by the way. This is block. That ain't stick frame. Or it probably was in the deep south. They were made of a timber frame construction in the 1800s. So, but anyways, this is another house made of block. And just one thing to point out, when we were there, not this house, but a different one, the construction guy goes, "You see that house? They didn't put rebar in it." I was like, "Well, how do you know?" It's like, "Look at it." And you can see that like the wall of the house where there's no rebar, it's starting to bulge. Like instead of being like a perfect cube, it's starting to like bulge outwards. You're getting, friends, from these homes, you're getting your rebar. They're not going to bulge. And a bulging home is a dangerous home. So here we go. And the next part is, so where is the village? I kind of put this map here. It kind of looks terrible on the telephone. So I decided to put a link. As you can see, it's 65 kilometers from the MKAD highway, like the edge of Moscow. And it takes an hour to get to Istra by suburban train. So that's something you should be aware of. Let's see. And this is where it is relative to a map. So you see it's right by the water. Okay, and then we zoom out a bit. And here's Istra with the lovely, lovely church. In fact, the church is so lovely that, you know, it has its own... yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful church in Istra. Absolutely gorgeous. But anyways, let's go back. Oh no, back. Yeah. So anyways, that's Istra, and then there's the train station in Istra. If you, I hope you guys can see it. Is right here, the major train station. They kind of show this one because I think that's where a lot of trains stop, but a lot of them stop here too. So anyways, and then you could go down into the city and yeah, rock and roll. So yeah, it's definitely suburban life, but not like the nasty, ugly suburban life, like real nice suburban life. In fact, the road there is beautiful. I wish I could have views of the road like in winter. Like, oh my god, let's take a look at the road to get there. Look at that. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's a nice road. It's a spicy meatball. It's over here. Is this actually something like a little village? Yeah. Some more your historical Russia in the neighborhood. But anyways, gorgeous. So, if we go back, that's where it is. Some perks for living there. You can read that on your own. And again, send me a message. Cool. So, that means that we can revert. Oh my god, stop scrolling. Stop. There we can revert back to me. I can try to get something white on the screen so it's not as insanely dark. There we go. And let's take a look at your messages. Of course, I'll take your calls. Of course, I'll take anyone's call if they want to call in. No one has done so at this point. That's okay. You want to call in? You do. You know what you don't. Tim, this is awesome. Thanks, guys. Ура, поздравляю. Thank you, Daniel. Very nice. Tim, if I can help in any way, I'm closer to Istra than you. Well, help, man. That's cool. Very nice of you to offer, but for now, it's not really a help thing, man. Unless you can offer people loans, because it's a matter of, you know, if someone can afford it or if they can't. So, it's unfortunately way more expensive than I thought it would be when this project started. But when this project started, there wasn't a war on. But the COVID price jump for housing, not apartmenting, for houses really hurt, and then the stuff with the war. So I'm really sorry that this project isn't cheaper. I thought it might work out being cheaper. It is definitely a project for the upper middle class, but what can I do? By the reservoir, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's such an easy commute to Moscow. Yeah, it is. It really is. Works for me, man. To be honest, the commute you should do is to Istra itself. But anyways, this is beyond expectations. I like the builder's insistence on building a quality house, says resident Bedouin. Yeah, you know, I've in my life I've let's just say cut corners, but you know, again, like this is one of these things where I know people can be corny. Oh, Lilia wants to talk. We'll get to Lilia. Let me just finish this thought. People can be kind of corny, and they'll be like, "Well, of course, I want to build the home that I live in." But I'm not effing kidding you. Like, if this project actually yields the money, I will build one of this exact same home for me, and you know for the future of my children and all this other stuff. I will do it. Okay, with the same materials for the same price and the exact same layout. I swear to God. If it works out that I actually have the money to do that and not just upgrade my dump in Chekhov, I swear to God, I'll do it. All right. Anyways, Lilia wants to talk. So, hello, Lilia. I like the system automatically puts your name as L.A., so I'm in a Los Angeles mood here. L.A. vibes, baby. Hello, Lilia. You should be able to speak, in theory.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Amazing.
Окей. Я могу говорить по-русски, да?
No. Well, hold on. You can speak Russian, but you're going to have to do it in chunks so I can translate it for everyone listening. Поэтому
Okay. My question is, how from that village I go to Istra? Do we have public transportation if I don't have car?
Yes. Okay. To get to Istra, the city, there's a ton of trains a day. That's easy. To get from Istra to the village, there's two options. There are 4 buses a day each way. So there's 4 buses.
Good.
If you don't want to take a bus, you can always take a taxi. Taxis are very cheap in Russia. It's going to be a few hundred rubles. So, yeah. But like I mentioned during the program, that I did see that people were actually having their food delivered, which saves a lot of money. So, there were a few stores around too, not too far. So, it's really probably just if you need to get to a job or something that you have to leave. But it's decent. It's decent. I can tell you that. Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. Question is where I can see on the website plan where and how many houses where I can choose.
Oh, well,
it's not ready yet.
No, that's to be honest, that is beyond my programming skills, and that's kind of one of the problems with when you do a project by yourself. Let's go back to this mode. So essentially, the thing is that really, because this big water project was huge, it is a huge dacha community. I believe it's 370 plots of land. So many of the plots that are left are next to each other, but there's not a huge amount of choice. There's not a huge amount of difference. I mean, again, it's kind of one of the things is, if we look on, let me try to find the something, and that's not working. Fantastic. But anyways, I'll put it this way. If you're really serious about this for, you and your husband and to really do this,
yes,
then maybe we could do, like, you guys pay me some sort of, what's that called? Zalog or something?
Consulting fee.
Fee. And thank you.
I'm here, Tim. This is Al. I'm Lilia's husband. Yes, we're serious about this. We have our property up for sale. We have
in Texas.
We have savings for the 50%. Just our concerns is, I think you'd written her about meeting possibly in Moscow or so.
Yes. How many houses you planning? And when you start selling, and how long
we start selling? That's easy. We start selling on Monday. Basically.
Okay.
That's the thing is because one of the things is about what this project is, because I don't want to disappoint people. I only put up the site when I knew that now all the pieces are in line, except I have to get a few contracts sort of redone. But besides this contract stuff getting redone, that's not a real big piece of the puzzle. That's just putting money on the table. So it's essentially good to go. So so there's 20 spaces left. Hold on. There's 20 places left in this particular location. So on the bad side, at any day, Russian people can come and buy it. I can't stop them. On the good news is the construction company said that there's actually a lot of other land, roughly speaking, in the same area for a similar price. So even if this community does fill up with people, and there are other people who love Istra, and they still want to be near some other people from the west, within at least close driving distance, we can probably find some other plots of land somewhere else. So
probably around the Istra,
around this place, the water reservoir. Around Istra,
And how long company will build house?
Half a year.
Half a year. Okay, good. And doesn't matter that all lot is bought or not. We still will continue, or we'll wait until everything will be bought.
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand the question. Please forgive me.
So, Tim, like in Moscow, you pay. Buildings you pay for one floor for a flat. They build that, then they add another floor. So if a purchase, they would start the home construction immediately or within a time frame.
They're not waiting immediately. Immediately. Why? Because they offer two options. They told me we could either have people pay the entire sum and they'll build the house, from start to finish immediately, or like many people in Russia who have limited funds, like yours truly, have done things. They said you can put down the price of the land plus 50% of the house's actual price, and then they'll do that, and then they could do the next 25% and the next 25%.
Gotcha.
The problem is,
Tim, and now I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. Is that the problem is still that first big chunk is still quite a large chunk of money. Unfortunately, it's not like 10% of the house's value, so it's still a bit of a hurdle, even though it might be easier for certain people.
Yes, sir. So, but that price that you're showing there, that's inclusive with the land, correct?
Yes. This price here. Okay. So, anyways, let me scroll up here. This what is this price? This is for the plot of land.
$1,550.
Yeah.
Right.
This is for the plot of land, and this is for the house in its entirety being finished to the point where it is turnkey. to the point where you just go in.
Yes.
Okay.
The construction company also said, hold on, important to say is, if someone didn't want their house to be turnkey, if they just sort of wanted to have like a box where it's you go in and there's heat and there's a functioning toilet and pretty much nothing else, they could do that if someone wanted to save money you know.
No.
Trust me, I've known some people who've bought some apartments they really couldn't afford, and they spent, you know, like 2 years living in a gray box. So
yes, we don't need this. Yeah.
So,
we need
you know, I'm trying to help people out here because there is a bit of a, you know, we got to help people come here, and not everybody just has tens of thousands of dollars just in waiting in reserve, you know. So
So, Tim, it's not really American village. It's just Russian people buying, American buying, everybody.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of how it worked out. But the thing that's the American Village about it is because this location is going to still be part of this American Villages project, it means that all the promises from the government to give people who are part of this project the opportunity to immigrate, going beyond the stupid immigration quota. Oh, there it is. That's the hook. That's what really gives this value. And I know some people, you know, have even told me that, you know, they just would like to have maybe a couple neighbors who at least speak the same language as them. So.
Yes, of course it's good. Yes, it's always good for my husband. I don't worry about me. For my husband.
Yeah, well, and also with remember with the Istra itself is, again, let's just say I don't know, 10 people buy houses. Is this a big community or isn't it? I'd consider that to be a success. Maybe some people wouldn't, but it's definitely more than having 0 neighbors who speak English. And like I said, the construction company said that the other places of land in basically, if we set like an anchor of this project, the Big Water, they were pretty sure that they would be able to find similar pieces of land sort of in the area. So you might not be like neighbors, but you're definitely going to be in the same county, as we would say in Midwestern
we can meet
American
somewhere
English.
Anyway. Yes, it's a good idea.
So as long as you're in the same county, you might as well be you know, neighbors or whatever. So especially the nice part about it is the road that goes up there is actually a dead end. It dead ends at the water, so there's like no traffic on that road. Oh,
it's very good. It's very good. Yes.
Yeah, because the traffic at the train station in Istra is legendary. So that's one thing I have to warn you. That train station.
No, I understand. It's very good connection from Istra to Moscow. Only question was from that village to Istra. Yes, but you said public transportation exists. It's okay. Yeah. How you signed the contract with? Not you, for example, with a construction company or through you from American Village? How?
It's through my, oh gosh, what is that called in English? Hold on.
Holding company?
No. That would be what? Limited liability company?
Limited liability corporation.
Yeah. I set that up specifically for this project. So that way everyone, essentially pays through that company, and then the company immediately sends it to the construction company, and they get going. So there you go.
Okay, so we need to meet on Monday and pay and sign contract.
Well, if you're already here, we can do that. I mean, if you're let me know. Let me know off the air.
Kind of time for me from Texas to go to Moscow.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, remember, since we're already communicating on Telegram, if you don't have my personal Telegram, it's on the site. Just click on the icon what's this thing? Like the little thing here, the paper airplane. This should work, hopefully. And we just tested on the stream the one at the bottom. The one at the bottom definitely works. Or you can copy it. I did this on just in case the buttons failed to work. I put it there. You could copy it. So there you go. You can do it the 1990s way. So
okay, Tim, this is Al again. So basically, of course, we never jumped right away, but we want to do something. We have the finances for the 50%, if not the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it's going to be whatever Lilia wants, and I would like she could write you with some stuff, and then she fly to Moscow. You would talk to her before possibly meeting. Of course, we don't want to do it on an open channel
Of course, I understand that. I perfectly understand that. And so while you're still excited, and while it should be still daytime where you are, check out information about Istra. Is this really a place you'd want to live? Again, I would say it's good because, again, you have, it's pretty, but it also has all the religious stuff. It also has access to Moscow. Because that's the one thing.
Yes.
Is hold on. I was just recently had a conversation with a group of foreign people who actually did move really, really far, like out into the middle of nowhere, and they were kind of like, well, we didn't have enough money to buy. They had enough money to buy a house, but they didn't have enough money to buy land, and so they're kind of like, it's almost like we're trapped being on a farm, but we can't farm anything. So Istra doesn't provide that problem. It has access to the city while it's still pretty, and that's why we're doing Moscow region first.
Well, I'm not totally inept with Russia. I've been St. Petersburg, Moscow, Omsk. I've been to I spent a week or almost 10 days in the sanitarium out in the middle of nowhere in Western Siberia, I guess. Eastern Siberia. Scared my wife because I was on a train, and anyway, long story short, they thought I was a Russian the way I was talking and get along with everybody. But this is something we're definitely interested in. We're going to talk, but she will contact you because I don't know anything about Russia. It would be totally my wife's. Then we go from there.
Tim, do you know how
I'm sorry,
much...
Lily, I'm not cutting you up. I got to cut off. Is one thing also to remember that then all the questions that have to do with immigration issues, those all go to Timur Bislangurov, my good friend, the immigration lawyer, because that is not my... So the immigration questions, you can ask them. I can give you a vague answer, but only Timur can really, truly answer. Just to tell...
Okay. But this is when we already decide to when we sign contract, we need to talk about immigration, because for me it's good. For him, he can live by visa.
I've already got a 3-year visa.
3 years visa, 6 months. It's everything good. Slow. I agree. Just go by law. Done. Question is, what is company who will serve in this village? No, not construction company. A company who will do services. Do you know how?
They have the same setup that a lot of dachas do. They have someone who's called in Russian председатель. In English, I don't know what that is, like commissioner or something.
Oh, so okay. You said
it works out
to
be.
Dacha. It's not land for individual construction, because dacha is different status.
Hold on. It'll work out to be sort of officially a dacha, but you can register yourself there. That was another key thing. People are registered at these houses, so it is a real house. It's not like one of these things where someone builds a shack on farmland and they trick someone into buying it. No, it counts as a real house, okay? But because it's organized like a dacha community, that means that there's essentially the equivalent of a homeowners association. First off, don't worry, because homeowners associations in Russia are much weaker than in America. Their ability to do anything. They don't really have the ability to ruin your life to that. Federal law is dominant. But anyway, so there are people who organize for there to be security and to organize for the trash to go away. And if the sewer gets clogged, they'll have someone from the community, go there, the community's chest, as they'd say in Monopoly, from the community chest, come there and, fix it. So, there is a sort of overseer, as it were.
Okay, good. Can we put a fence around the house? We have doggy.
Oh yeah, this is Great Russia. You can put fence anywhere, but the entire territory is surrounded by a fence.
Texas with the border wall.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
As a man
you. I will talk to you by telegram. Yes.
Tim, thank you so much for your time and answering the questions.
Best. Thank you for your optimism.
And we're going to sit down and discuss, possibly come up with some questions and go from there. But we've been waiting for this for a while.
Well, thank you for your patience, and I apologize for everything taking so long. I'm not a genius of bureaucracy or construction, but I found a few.
No, it's not your fault. I know. Yes, it's everywhere. Can happen. Yes.
All right.
Finally, result. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we have Sam Oak wants to talk. It's always nice to have Sam on. Hello. How are you doing?
Tim. Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Overall good.
Okay.
It's a day of mixed emotions. On the one hand, I'm really happy this is happening. On the other hand, I'm kind of sad that I think the price is going to be a little rough for a lot of the people who've been waiting for this. So I have mixed feelings. But anyways, you tell me. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm still practicing my Russian, and
Good.
let's see. Что вы хотите поесть завтра вечером?
Завтра вечером хочется
Yeah.
поесть пиццу. Всегда
Oh,
пиццу хочется. Yeah.
Пеканский.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
I'm
always
still
want pizza. I love it. So, but good. Not bad.
How is the
not bad.
pizza?
So,
How is
cases
the
right-
pizza there?
Hmm?
How is
well,
the pizza there?
To be honest, I love Dodo Pizza. I absolutely adore it. But the City Pizzas, it's called, that company. It's the same as tastes the same as pizza in Cleveland, like exactly the same. So I like it. But,
Wow. And it's non-GMO. Everything's non-GMO.
It's supposed to be, yeah. Everything is supposed to be non-GMO.
Wow.
In theory.
That's what my wife and I are really excited for, is just that it seems like we're getting different kind of feedback from different people that live in Russia, but it seems like the nation is not opposed to its people like in the U.S. They're not trying to...
Tell me some of these things, because one of the things I find very frustrating are Russian people who think they're helping, and they tell foreign people all this stuff about Russia, whether in a sort of positive way, where they over dramatize and say everything is so easy and just come here and you'll have this golden life. And then there's the other part that are like, no, this place is a hellhole. You can't come here. You don't know. You'll never be able to survive. That kind of stuff. So what are they telling you?
Yeah. Well, I think it's really about your community, what kind of community you have around you, and that really dictates your experience in life in general. So I kind of just take it with a grain of salt. But I hear.
Well, ultimately, no matter where you go around Moscow, you're going to be your community is going to be very Russian. So on the one level, it'll definitely be different, in some way. So
yeah, interesting. So, is there any cross country skiing around?
Everywhere.
Big water. Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, since the water completely freezes over, there might be cross country skiing on the water. But but yeah, I mean, like, cross country skiing is way more popular than you might even think it is. It's kind of like Tai Chi for Russian people, like this sort of like light activity that everyone can do. Like you see in China, all the old people do their Tai Chi. That's kind of like the Russian equivalent. So, like at every sporting goods store, they sell stuff for it. Like every sporting goods store has stuff for it, and a lot of it. So,
yeah, we just did it for the first time this winter, and yeah, I love it. It's great. So what is the price of the of the built structure that the owner would finish themselves? You said like the unfinished structure. Do you have a price point for that?
Oh, of what it would be if you mean like it was didn't have the like no interior, like you're talking just concrete walls?
Yes.
That I honestly don't know. I could find that out tomorrow. I'm gonna guess it probably saves something like 2 million rubles. I don't think it makes a huge difference. But I think it's probably. I'll ask. We'll do that to make sure. But I think it's not gonna be this like dynamic huge amount. It's probably gonna save like 10 to 15 to 20% or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. And you said,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I was gonna say is then that might have an effect on that whole like cost of the land plus 50% to actually start building. So I don't know. But yeah, and also who knows? Maybe you want to do everything on the inside the way you want it. Because there's no way to make people happy with interior design. So the interior design is of course going to be a little generic to make everyone as happy as they can be. So.
Right. So is it possible to do like 2 plots of land plus the house? Is that option available? Not
you
to
got
like
the money
overcome.
For that?
Possibly.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you've got the money, sure. But that's going to probably pump things up to over 20 million.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I'm just thinking, if somebody wants to do a bigger operation, let's say they want to put up greenhouses and raise lettuce in the winter time, or
Well, to be honest, on 2,000 square meters, you got plenty of room for a greenhouse.
Yeah.
So as is, but if someone wanted to, yeah, of course they can. Free country, and again, this isn't connected in any way to the government, so there's no like this has to be fair. It can only be fair. It can kind of just be whatever. And like I said, if everyone just says nice things and doesn't buy anything, and someone from Russia, buys it all, well, then it's gone, and then we'll have to find another location that meets these kind of standards. So,
yeah, gotcha. So, okay, one of the things I'm hearing about Russia through my wife's friends that live in Russia is that there are chemtrails there.
Okay.
Is that something you can confirm?
Here's one thing. First off, I don't know. I live between two airports, and I don't really see that. But that's not a thing in Russia. That's not a issue, or even. It's just it's a non-existent thing.
Okay.
It's not part of
so the chemtrails are like it's Western nations that are trying to depopulate their population and bring in like foreigners.
In the conspiracy theory world, it's a conspiracy theory that doesn't exist here. It's outside the public consciousness.
So what would you say? Okay, I'm just trying to get the best inside scoop. What is one thing that locals complain about that would be on par with, how the like Malthusian things going on in the West? Or is there nothing at all? I mean, that would be great.
Well, the thing that locals complain about the most is why isn't everything free or cheaper? That's issue number one. Yeah, that's ultimately what it boils down to. Because like I tell people, salaries in Russia suck. And it's one of the great mysteries as to why does the salary for everything suck? Why do you have the only way you can make money in Russia is to work for yourself? There's really not much. I'll put it this way: if you already inherit a place to live, and you find a job in that area, right? That suits you, and you do the wife and maybe 2 kids, then you can kind of squeak by doing just like a job. But everyone I know who lives okay or has become successful, they all work multiple jobs and work for themselves and all this stuff. So
the go-getters.
Yeah. So, but again, when Russians complain about why is everything so expensive, that's ultimately it. If you're getting into the whole conspiratorial realm, there's a lot of noise coming from over there. Gotta mute you there. But if you're talking from the conspiratorial realm, gosh, this is going to make the video probably get attacked by YouTube. There's all sorts of different, what? I don't want to talk about that on this thing, but they're generally not really related to like the average Joe and their life, but more to like the grand actions of things, or I guess maybe conspiracy would be, there's so many migrant laborers here, although their numbers keep going lower and lower, and a lot of states have banned them, so I don't know. Anyways, Daniel wants to talk. Hello, Daniel. And first thing, Daniel, while you're getting connected here, I just wanted to say that. So for now, don't add anything to the group. We got to keep this whole channel for the American Village now pretty much empty of new information because I want people to land on the site. So for now, thank you very much for your help, but we're gonna give you a little vacation there for a month or two.
Yeah. No, fine. Yeah. I just wanted to, but real quick, just so like Sam and other people understand, this is my experience. I'm in Moscow for 12 years. I'll make it quick, Tim. I'll make it quick. Yeah. I'm from Long Island, New York. I had a house on the North Fork. So just a house and 2 cars and Verizon, 2 cell phones, food, electricity, just the bills was about $6,500, maybe $7,000 a month. That's taxes. That's everything. So what people need to understand with Russia is my wife and I are both English teachers, right? We teach English. We do about 20 to 25 hours a week each. We have 2 children. We live about 20 minutes from the Kremlin. So what I'm trying to say is that in Russia, see, in America, I don't believe it's that way. If you want to live nicely and in a safe area, it's all about the zip code, especially on Long Island. Okay, that the zip code. You had a lot of Chinese coming in. You had a lot of people that have money. They come into these, really beautiful areas. They're expensive. The taxes are ridiculous. But in America, I believe it's, if you want to live in a nice area and comfortably, you're going to work your ass off. You got to make money.
Yeah.
Right. If not, you're living in a not such a nice area. But the difference with Russia is, okay, you can live that life if you want. We don't want that life, right? For us, our time is more important with our children. So you have the option, though. That's the difference, I believe, that in Russia, you can live. You can be a workaholic. You can do 60, 70, 80 hours a week. That's whatever. If you're a business person, an entrepreneur, you want to work your ass off, make the money, and you can do that. But you can also live comfortably and have a life, have time to raise your children, have time for yourself, have time for your wife or your spouse. You can do that too.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm here 12 years. And if I
also,
wrote a list, and I think I might do it for my channel, I'm going to show people what I was paying a month on Long Island. And Long Island at the time, 12, 13 years ago, I think it was third most expensive place to live. It's ridiculous what they're charging for utilities and everything. You're getting robbed. But in Russia, I have 4 lessons a day.
Yeah.
Online. My wife has 20, 25. I have 20. We have a life.
Well, question,
okay, we don't have a car.
Did your wife already have like the apartment there, or did you buy that when you came here?
No, we're renting.
Oh, you're renting. Oh.
This is with rent. We have a 3-room flat, 2 balconies, 80 square meters.
Yeah.
We're paying $60,000 a month.
No, it's actually pretty fair for that in Moscow. Yeah,
3 rooms.
Well, just to tell you one thing, man, is like my problem is that since I came here as an immigrant, I didn't have anything. So now it's kind of like this thing where I have to pay off a mortgage to buy a little apartment that's in the one I bought that's in a really nice neighborhood, to later sell it so I can finally get my kids like an apartment where they can actually like live, and then pay only a mortgage. And no, the whole mortgage and rent thing kicks my butt. But at the same time, can I afford it? Apparently, yes. With a lot left over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So just so your followers understand, you can choose. You can live the life of working your ass off, or you can live a life where, all right, we don't have a car. We don't need a car.
Yeah.
We don't need a car in Russia. Long Island, you're done. Without a car, you're not going anywhere. We needed 2 cars. Yeah. We needed 2 cars. And we had to commute an hour one way. Left the house at 7 in the morning. We're home at 7 at night. Who the hell wants to live like that? Who wants to live like that? Now I wake up, I walk my dog, I take the kids here, I go there. I have a life.
Yeah.
We travel, we can travel. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to understand. In Russia, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's possible. In America, I don't think you can.
Well,
I don't think you can. You know what I'm saying? So just so they understand, it's how you want to live, right? We don't need all the expensive things. Right, we need to be with our family, raise our children, have a roof over our head, have food on the table, and go on vacations. Once or twice a year.
And like I tell people, man, we're living the Republican dream, because especially if you work for yourself, taxes are real low. So as soon as you get wherever you're living, as soon as you get it paid off, you're golden.
Yes.
So that's the real thing.
We do have property. We started. Well, hopefully our house will be finished this year.
Oh boy.
Just so people understand, it's 2 stories. It's 100 square meters, 2 floors, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's a decent house for 4 people.
Yeah.
But we're able to do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But people
try renting in New York City while building a house just outside New York City. Try doing that.
My family's
as a teacher.
My family and friends, they're in New York, Long Island, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, wherever. If I told you what they were renting in a basement of a house, how much they were paying a month for that. That's what I'm saying. So in Russia, though, you have the choice. You can work hard, or you can work. You can live to work, or you can work to live. You have that option. But in America, you're going to be in a bad area if you're both not busting your ass, making decent money.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But here in Russia, dude, I'm 55. I moved here when I was 42. I've been semi-retired since I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
I went from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, 6 days a week, because I worked for the 44th richest man in the world.
Yeah.
And he owned me.
Yeah.
You want a job like that, they're gonna own you. Saturdays, Sundays, whenever. Well,
yeah.
I don't live that life anymore. So people need to understand that.
Oh yeah, like to be honest, man, cannot wait for the day when I pay off that apartment, and pay off that apartment, and then finally buy the big one. And then I don't, because dude, I do all right where paying a mortgage is no problem. It's that freaking mortgage and the rent. Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna do, like we said, semi-retirement. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work. When that happens, I'm working 3 days a week. The other 4 days, it's party time. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Bravo.
I'm so used to working like 6 or 7 days a week that I don't know how I'm gonna get out of it. But I'll figure a way.
Man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. But listen, brother, I'm here. You know, you can call me if you need help anytime.
I know you're always around, man. One day I will. I'll put in a promise. I'll go see your house at some point, even if it's before it's finished. All right, man.
All right, man. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Okay, good. Okay, so fantastic. All right. So there's some people. Wow, there's a lot of people listening. Holy moly! Maybe we should do longer live streams. Does someone have the Uzbekistan flag as their icon? Adhambek, nice to meet you. I appreciate the Uzbekistan flag icon. So anyways, if someone wants to raise their hand, Sam wants to. Sam is back. Sam, was there something else you wanted to add while I read the messages?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I appreciate, I think it's DeBoz or something, or Daniel.
Yeah.
I appreciate his perspective. We're not living too bad of a life here. We're ranchers in Tennessee, but it's mainly we're looking for a place that has some kind of like leadership in terms of the governance. You know, we just don't see very good leadership in America. It seems like the leadership in America is opposed to the people. So we have very kind of relaxed agricultural lives, and you know, it has the seasons that, of course, can be difficult, like, you know, the winter season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just very curious about the kind of hope that people have, and I guess I hear from you that generally Russians are they lack hope.
Yeah, for the most part. That's why one thing, like, so when like Scott Ritter did a tour of Russia, and he always comes back. He's been to Russia twice. When he comes back, he always talks about like this sort of hopeful optimism amongst Russians, and I myself, I honestly don't see it. There's maybe a little bit of optimism for like the destiny of Russian society as a whole now, but not really so much on like a personal level, not like for like me as an individual. But
okay, now do you think that has anything to do with the way that they worship, in that it's highly structured? And like my Russian Orthodox friends, they are usually adults by the time they start reading the Bible. And do you think that has anything to do with it? Because the Bible has a lot of good promises in it. And that if you study the promises,
if that's a deep-seated cultural thing, but the average person doesn't go to church. So, you know, the average person is only going to go to church on like Easter and Christmas and all that. So, but you know, that's kind of hard to tell. I would just say that maybe it's more kind of a historical thing. Another thing that's also important is that why people really need to learn Russian is that you are treated very differently when you speak Russian, and the information that you're given is different, and it's given in a different way. And so, like I mentioned, I think the people told Scott Ritter the way the truth sounds to their minds speaking English, which is different. Automatically, once Russians start speaking English, they're not really telling you like it is. They're sort of like giving the answers that they feel they need to say more so than what is real or not. So yeah, and that's not a diss on Scott Ritter. I have no problems with Scott Ritter. I don't want to turn this into a discussion about him. I'm not dissing on him. I just say that I actually found his tour to be fascinating. It's just when I kind of come back and I hear this like mega optimism coming, like that's the impression he got. I'm always like, is that really the country I live in? Where like there's like optimistic people all over the place. Again, like I said, for Russian society as a whole, there is a new optimism. For society as a whole, there is, but that's an ideological optimism. That isn't the type of optimism that you think about when you get your paycheck.
Do you think that the way that truth is, quote unquote, truth is transmitted in English is inherently become very cynical due to the education system? And I mean, for instance, I remember in high school and even times in college where you're just writing what the teacher wants, and it's just peak cynicism from within. And I wonder, do they have that in Russia where they're just answering? Like if you watch how Jake Sullivan or the other spokesman for the Defense Department speak, they're speaking in lies, but they're speaking it in a way where, like you've said before, they're used car salesmen. They'll
I don't want to get in trouble, but the Russians do accuse a few people in the media of doing that. So yeah, there are people like that, and of course, there's always been the problem of corruption in Russia, and the classic. What was I watching where someone did there's this comedy sketch, and this one comedian, he really nailed like how someone who is a corrupt politician in Russia, the way they speak, that sort of like saying the things they need to say to sound like they're patriotic and the best person on earth, but you can feel that it's like a complete lie. I don't really like that comedian, but he really hit the nail on the head. And unfortunately, that's one of those things where if you don't speak Russian, you'll never see it. And that's yet another reason why people have to learn Russian if they come here, because then all those little nuances you just don't get to participate in. But I would say that there are a few media figures that really get accused of doing that. So not governmental figures, but people who are sort of like, they just pay him he'll just say whatever they want him to say for money on the screen and So there's a few of that type of person. Yeah, but
gotcha.
Yeah, but about the language thing, it's kind of just like if you were to meet your own personal hero, how would you interact with them? Would you interact with them like you would with a delivery guy? No, you'd be kind of, impressed by them, or or you'd want to impress them or something, or maybe you try to put more energy into the conversation. And that's what happens when Russians speak English. It's almost like they're meeting their hero for the first time or something. It's an abnormal interaction, a very abnormal interaction. So it tends to yield abnormal results.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Gonna mute you there, not because you're a bad person, but we need to be moving on here because it's not really related to the American Village. Does anyone else have any questions at all about the American Village? Are there some written ones? Let's see. From Christopher, U.S. $180,000 for a home in Istra is fairly stiff for Russia. The reason? Well, Christopher, I did put on the site some comparative homes, and everything's gotten really expensive. So what's the reason? Why are things more expensive? Reason number one, COVID changed everything in terms of Russian real estate. Before COVID, no one wanted houses. The thing was that everyone said is you buy an apartment. That's what you do. You buy an apartment. So you look at some apartment in Moscow. Again, let's just say for the sake of giving me a break, I don't remember what an apartment costs every year of Russian history based on size, but let's just say roughly before COVID, you could buy like a studio apartment that's being built in Moscow. So a teeny tiny apartment for maybe 4 or 5 million rubles, and then a dacha would cost like the dinky dacha that I got, or something equivalent, like a not that great dacha would be like 1 million rubles, or 1.5 or 2. 2 million would already be kind of something that's kind of nice, or maybe isn't a really good location or something, right? Now again, we're comparing this to a studio apartment, to like a tiny, the size of a shack, right? all of a sudden COVID happens, and people really woke up to the idea that, like, wow, being trapped in this apartment sucks. And my friend has a dacha, and he lives in a house, and his life is so much better than mine. And the prices went like that. Basically, the cost of housing, as in houses as opposed to apartments, when I would say increased by 150% to doubled just because of COVID, just immediately. So even after COVID, the miracle that happened in my life to be able to buy two chunks of land that added up to being a decent sized chunk of land right outside of Chekhov, ultimately for less than 2 million rubles. Oh boy, that you'll never get that. That was we can only be thankful to God that he gave me this insane opportunity that he didn't give to other people for some unknown reason that's beyond me. But then, what we have is then after that, so we had the initial doubling of the real estate costs when it comes to houses after COVID, because everyone wanted them now. And then we get into when the war starts, they start to need more steel and more concrete, and I was told that there was a big shortage of, cement. All the cement's going to the front lines. So then that gets more expensive. And then with the sanctions, now it's like, well, if I have a JCB excavator and a part breaks on it, it's a nightmare to get a new part. You have to order this part to come in over the border from like Kazakhstan or somewhere. So it's either really expensive to fix something, or you have to buy a new excavator, and a new excavator isn't cheap. And that's ultimately why the prices are the way they are. Resources are limited because of the war, and because of sanctions. All the construction equipment has to be replaced or repaired for insanely expensive parts. And like I also mentioned, that there's a real clamp down on illegal migrant work. And in a lot of regions in Russia, they're just getting rid of them altogether. Like, migrant work is just gone. So that also means that the price of labor has gone up. So you have this oh my gosh, there's an expression for this. Well, we're going to talk to Anne here before she vanishes, but you sort of have this peak moment where all these factors sort of hit, and it's crazy. It's crazy. 5 years ago, 5 years ago, I was yelling at my one friend because he didn't buy a 200 square meter house just outside of Moscow for 16 million. He should have. Anyways, Anne, you're here. Hello. Anne Kirkpatrick, hello. Hello. Are you on?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm on now. Okay. Well, congratulations, Tim. Gosh, that is just wonderful.
Nothing. Until people start buying stuff and living there's no congratulations. But thank you anyways.
All right. So just a small thing. Can you mention the cost of electricity every month, gas, water, the utilities that we pay every month? Do you have any, what's the ballpark?
Well, the price you have to pay for the homeowners association is 6,000 to 7,000 rubles a month for all that, like security and the nice taking out the trash and all that, because it's more of an elite setup. I pay a lot less. Because there's gas, that means it's going to be cheap. I'm going to guess that your utilities would wind up being somewhere between 5,000 to 10,000 rubles. So I'm thinking it's going to wind up ultimately being, when you have add all that stuff together, probably like, I don't know, 200 to 250 bucks.
Everything together.
In winter.
Yeah, in winter. Right, yeah, right. Yeah. Right. And no basements, of course. No basements, and they're separate.
No. That, yeah. I know everyone wants to have it's just the cost is just astronomical. It basically double the cost of the house. So,
who cleans the streets with the snow? When the snow is heavy, who cleans the streets?
When we were there taking photos and all that, they have their own equivalent of a bobcat that comes, and it has the spinning brush on the front to knock everything out of the way. The roads were in perfect condition in winter for driving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And I guess the government did the road there because the road there was also well maintained. But because of the lack of migrant workers in Moscow, it's the worst I've ever had. It's one of those things where, hey, you want to live without migrant labor? In Moscow, they basically just don't do anything this year, and there's been a ton of snow, and it's rough driving. So.
Yeah. Any sleds and horses like in olden days?
Nah, that's kind of a modern era.
Yeah.
Because for one thing is because I want to kind of separate the goofiness of Russia and my stupid humor from the professionalism I want to have on Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore. I started a channel called the Barn Dominium, which I need to post kind of make more references to. But recently I put up on the Barn Dominium that in Chekhov an entire herd of pigs. Are pigs in herds or in the what? What is a group of pigs? A pack? No, packs are predatory. I guess a herd. A herd of pigs
Gosh,
escaped. And so in Chekhov, like running down the highway, there's just pigs, you know. So in Chekhov, stuff like that happens because we have like less money. But Istra is very like, you know, pinky out when we drink. It's more hoity-toity.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will keep up with it.
All right, I'll be here. So you let me know if you got any more questions. I'm always happy to answer. Anyways, all the best.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah. Nope, not a whole lot of farming up that way. Nah, not a whole lot, especially when it comes to animals. So, from a farmer's almanac, a group of hogs is called a passel or a team. A team. I don't know about that. Team. That's horses when they're in when they're set up to pull something. That's when they're a team. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, did someone else want to call in, or did everyone get all the information they wanted? Are there any new messages? Not really. Oh, someone does. Lilia is back. Lilia wants to talk. And anyways, so guys, after Lilia, one or two more calls. So if you want to talk, stop being shy. Especially you're watching this on a telephone, you already have a microphone attached to your telephone. Yeah. But anyways, Lilia, was there something else? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I
Yes.
can, yes.
Is any infrastructure around this American village or not?
Oh, yeah. There's a road that goes a road that's very well paved and was very well, the snow was removed. That goes right to East.
I guess I'm asking if they have like a fitness next to you or cafe or banya in that area, not in Istra.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Let's see. Let's see what what they told me was there's a hunting, fishing. You can go for mushrooms and berries in the woods. You can do sports on the water. So they said. There's a place to go horseback riding around there. So they say that's I guess within walking distance.
Okay.
There's also the cheese factory from the famous Oleg Sirota. His cheese factory is right in that area, so you can get the luxurious cheese.
Oh, I heard about him.
See.
Yes.
Oh no.
But
Hold on.
so no any like fitness around or
Let's see. That would
where we are now being retired. And you cannot drive all the time to the Istra every day if you want to do something.
Supposedly, actually, there is Les Sources de Santé. Something. It says Spa Salon, Fitness Club, Banya, and Sauna is actually right by it. Okay.
Yeah. Next to that village. Uh-huh.
Very close to it. That's pretty crazy.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's not a That's not a super crazy distance. So yeah, I don't know. But again, that's one of these things where everyone wants everything to be everything, and to have a real nice gym. Those are generally for urban environments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
But sometimes we do around any cottage village. We do some services like fitness and cafe,
I see
internet and stuff.
Now I see why there's a gym, because the fitness center is attached to a hotel called the Mistral. Everything is very French. So there's a Mistral hotel that's sort of in that area though.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the logic. So But the fun part is that means you can take a boat to go to the gym.
If you want very nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Have you been? Have you been? Actually, you at that land and see?
Yes, I went just like a week ago.
Mm. And already construction or people live. If it's dacha, it means we are already established there. Dacha people.
Correct.
Around, yes?
The dacha community is vastly bigger. It's been around for a few years, so there are many houses that are already built. Again, let me show you on the site. We can I can show you. I mean, is this at? Hold on, one sec. So many windows, and that was the wrong one. All right, screen share. If you see these pictures here that should be on your screen right now, these I took myself like a week ago. So that's like the water,
okay.
And then here's something that's already built.
Very
impressive.
I saw this.
And that's stuff that's already there. And obviously this house is not finished. The next one might be depending, but this one is definitely finished. And there were definitely smoke coming from some of them. So there are definitely people living there.
Yeah. And you said there is no problem with register in that area.
No, I asked specifically about that, and they said no problem. There are people who are registered there. Yeah.
Register for Istra, for city Istra. Yes.
Well, it's the county.
Garadskoy Okrug. Yeah. Yes.
The county.
Yes.
But to be honest, when it comes to registration, what really matters is being Moscow region. It's usually the state that's usually the real critical issue. But yeah. So.
No, just question where I need to. I know registration needs to be done for many reasons in Russia.
And that's an important thing to ask, because a lot of times these people who sell stuff online, they lie about where something is to make it seem like it's in a certain region of Russia. And when it isn't.
I know.
And these borders can be very tricky, but this is actually, it's Istrinsky Rayon. In fact, didn't I actually open it up on this? So let's go back. Oh, I can't even see myself.
Also, you talked to lady about how much to pay for gas, for cleaning. What was the amount per month? $200 to $250, you said?
Yeah, I think all in all it'll be $250, something like that. Yeah, $250. Because they have gas. Gas is real cheap to heat your house with. If it was electricity, it would probably be $750. You know, but gas is real cheap. So, anyways, on the site it says Garadskoy Okrug Istra. You can even see it on the site right there.
Garadskoy Okrug Istra. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, team. Yeah. I will continue to collect my question. I will telegram you. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. So, did anyone else want to call in? Maybe Christopher might be really disappointed. I could tell from one of the messages. Maybe Christopher wants to call in and express his disappointment if he wants to, but you don't have to, Christopher. You don't have to. Let's see. While I'm waiting for someone.
Hello.
Oh my gosh! I think I hear you slightly, quietly.
Yeah, it's I'm an admin, so I can just drop in.
That is right.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the price. Yeah. Is it because it's close to Moscow?
It's because we had to buy the land.
Okay, so it's the cost of the house. So the land was being within 60 kilometers of Moscow. Yeah, was kind of spendy.
So this is the thing is, this is probably actually a really good question. Thank you, Christopher, to end on. But I'm not going to mute you because you actually are good at controlling what's happening in the background. Is that so someone might say, well, Tim, I'm going to wait for the American Village in Serpukhov. You said maybe you can actually solve the problem and maybe it'll happen. Cool, but the construction guys took a look at Serpukhov and they really said that at the very most, it's going to be the difference between 16 million rubles and 12. So it's not going to be this insanely grand thing that when you take away the cost of the land and some of the other like shenanigans of hooking up the gas and electricity and the sewage and all that stuff, when you take that sort of out of the equation and get it from the government for free, it's still just like really the cost of building the house that is the overall really expensive part of this whole thing. So there's kind of no point in really waiting for Serpukhov, especially because it's not a guaranteed thing to even happen.
Okay, so the price difference then, after everything's said and done, is only about 40,000 US.
Yeah, that's really it. That's yeah, according to the construction guys, yeah, for just $40,000. So again, despite the fact that too also with Serpukhov is going to be a really nice place to live because it's really pleasant out there, but it's definitely, this Istra is definitely easier at this point. Because the thing is, okay, when the American Village starts down there, yeah, when we start getting people to live there, that means we'll be able to get more buses to come there and everything will work out. But still, in terms of like raw kilometers, it's just closer. And the fact that you could just do and grab a taxi to the city of Istra is really a benefit. Whereas like, unfortunately, like where the American Village is in Serpukhov, you know, it's like, will the taxi driver accept the call or not? It's a little, you know, or then you have to go to the station, but the station there, that's the train station, works, of course, but it's less popular. It's not like Istra, where Istra gets a bazillion trains a day. The train station around Serpukhov is one of the ones that gets like 1 or 2 an hour. You know.
All right. Well, I'll talk to my wife about it. We'll make a decision.
Yeah. Again, I apologize. I hear some sadness in your voice, and I feel bad. I myself am a little bit taken aback by this, but yeah.
The original estimates were like 40 or 50K for building and service.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. That's what I really thought it was going to be, because again, I was told a few things. I was told, first off, that we'd, I don't know if I've talked about this before. Well, I guess if I haven't, I'll let the cat out of the bag. But I was told that we'd get the electricity put to the territory of the village, and all we'd have to do is put up a pole and go from house to house, which doesn't cost a whole heck of a lot of money in Russia. And that everything would work out being like this and that would be free. And I kind of went in and did a raw estimate of like how much do the building materials just cost at the time. Again, 2 years ago, maybe even over 2 years ago at this point. And it came out to being something like in the sort of like the 5-6 million range. But then, you know, there you go.
All right, so we're dealing with inflation and
with inflation, and also with Serpukhov, how thankfully the investors are willing to bite the bullet. But you know, they gave this insane price for the electricity there to electrify the field. You know, to put in the electricity. And the first estimate was just absolutely ridiculous. I filed a formal complaint and they recalculated it. It's still bad, but the investment company says when you divide something terrible 130 ways, or bad, terrible was before, that's just bad, it'll work out to be not that much, but it still adds about 10 grand, you know, to the estimate.
Yeah.
Just to have electricity,
right.
which it should cost very little, but I don't know what's their problem. So I'm sorry, man. I honestly swear to God, really thought that like especially all the materials and all that would be like, you know, 5 or 6 million, and then of course you get into labor and all that. But if you build the houses fast, or if some people want to kind of participate in building it themselves, it would maybe wind up being then 7 or 8 or something. But no, it's twice as much as I guessed. So. I'm sorry.
All right, well, you answered the question. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to, I guess, end on a dour note unless someone wants to talk. I'm going to take one last little perusal of the annual property taxes. Nothing. The annual property taxes for anything in Russia are like nominal. Again, I own 3 pieces of real estate in Russia. I paid $22. So, something like that. Hello, so someone wanted to talk? Wait, who? Did you disappear? Where'd you go? I just approved someone to talk and they vanished. Where are you? I don't even remember the what? Wait, what's going on? Who wanted to talk? I approved it and they vanished. Did I ban them on accident? Oh my gosh. Was that you, Janusz? Was that you? No, it was Kostya. Oh, I think it was Kostya wanted to talk. Where is he? Why isn't he here? I'd love to talk to him. He's a nice guy. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to. But Horatio says that he 150 pounds a month of tax here. So I don't know. Well, I guess we could look that up, and then we'll leave. Unless someone wants to call in and talk, I'll then look this up real quick, and we'll see. And of course the answer Premier. I'm sorry, this is going to be a nightmare of calculations, but I have to assume that the value of it, let's just say that, again, so I own an apartment in Moscow and I have the stuff in Chekhov. Let's just say hypothetically then that they calculate that home to be 5 times more valuable than everything I own together, $100. So, yeah, real estate taxes aren't really even a thing here. They're basically a non-issue. And no one wants to talk, so that means we're going to leave. Okay. So, anyways, guys, there was some happiness, some sadness with this information. I'm now definitely feeling some sleepyishness. So, anyways, I'm going to hit the road, and I'm going to upload this video right now because I think it's kind of important. So, yeah, we're going to do that as soon as I can find the stop stream button. Sometimes it's the hardest button to find of all the buttons.